Okay, let's just get started. We're gonna be recording this session, everyone. So I hope you don't have an inconvenience with that. We can leave time at the end of the presentation. If there's anything that you wanna ask that you don't wanna you don't want it to be disclosed publicly. So we can make a safe space for that. To go over any questions that you might have that are particular to your business, and to see if the program can serve your needs. So without further ado, thank you for joining us. My name is Micaela Skognic. I am the Industrial Programs Manager here at SBIDC. We also have from the SBIDC Ronnie Su, who is our program assistant, program manager, program associate. And we'll also be supporting with Plan for Growth. So yeah, just wanted to host an info session for Plan for Growth to go over any questions that folks may have about what is the program, if it's well suited for your business, if the tools that we're gonna be teaching you are what you're looking for. So I'll go over a brief presentation. I want to go not over like 10 to 15 minutes, so we can leave space and time for questions. And if at any point you want to input your questions on the chat, please feel free to do so. So yeah, here we have the latest flyer of Plan for Growth. We just started more actively promoting the program. Our upcoming cohort is the fall cohort of 2023. It starts in September 20th through November 8th. It meets weekly, in person. Classes last for 4 hours in Industry City in the Innovation Lab, where we hosted every semester. So yeah, and this program is brought to you thanks to, it's hosted by SBIDC. We've been doing this program since 2016. It is funded through the state by Empire State Development, and it is managed in partnership with Skopos Collective, which is a consulting firm that focuses on financial services, but their expertise is much broader than that. And we've been doing this program with Skopos for the last 3 years or so. So I believe, Hedvig, that you're in here in the classroom, that I believe you took the program once for a very specific purpose. Um, Back in 2020. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but we change the curriculum every semester, and sometimes we do curriculum that's more specific, for instance, to QuickBooks, to accounting, business accounting. So the one this semester is like the usual kind of Plan for Growth, that it covers all the different bases of business management. So a little bit about our organization. Hedvig, you know as well. I know Lauren, we started our relationship more recently. We're a nonprofit. We've been around in the neighborhood for the last 45 years now. We're a resource. We create equal opportunity for the people, businesses, and the community of Southwest Brooklyn. We help people build careers and businesses in the working waterfront neighborhoods of Sunset Park, Red Hook, and Gowanus. So we have 2 offices. There's the business services side that works with the business owners, and then there's workforce who supports job seekers. So if at any point you guys have any hiring needs, you can also count on us for that. So yeah, a little bit about Plan for Growth. Again, the program has been going on since 2016. Here's a picture of the last semester. Kim Robinson, our marketing instructor, holding court in the class, and reminding me also, I wanted to show you a little bit, guys, about how the application looks like. So I'm gonna switch here gears, because most of the information about what is the program is everything is on the application. So Plan for Growth is a business management and leadership program designed for creative entrepreneurs, designers, and manufacturers in Southwest Brooklyn. If you're not based in Southwest Brooklyn, still you can apply, and it's up to us, and depending on how capacity in the room looks like. But the sweet spot of the amount of businesses that we're looking for is 10. That's kind of like a warm room, to 12. That's the amount of business that we want to have in class. So I would say the most valuable asset of the program is both the networking opportunity that allows to the businesses that take the program. It's cohort based, meaning that each class, it's the same group of people that come together and troubleshoot different, whether it's the topic of the class itself, and we will get in a second into the curriculum, or troubleshoot a specific problem or specific challenge that they're going through as a business. So for instance, we've had in the past businesses take the program twice, and in the first time they took the program because like no one went to business school. Most of the entrepreneurs that we work with don't have like the business school skills necessarily, so they want to build that, but they're coming back to the program because they have a question about how they should price their product now post pandemic in a different world with different conditions surrounding their production. So and sometimes folks just come to the program because they're trying to get exposed to different consultants. I think that's a huge asset also of the program. It's for a very reduced fee, $375. You have access to top-notch consultants and experts in their field that lead these classes, again, 4 hours per week. Every Wednesday, we meet from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. in Industry City. So yeah, this is, again, we're looking at the application, and I will send you in a follow-up email the slides and also the links, but a little bit about our organization, about Skopos. So we will get then into curriculum and dates now. So in going back here to my handy slideshow, so some pictures. This is from the last semester, then from spring 2022. So we took a 2-year hiatus post-pandemic. The last program we did was in March 2020. We had to switch everything online. And then after that, we took a little break. So the program started again last year in May 2022. So just to show you a little bit of like the mix of folks that are in the room from this program, we had businesses that have 30 employees, that have been in business for at least 10 years, folks that are growing their business, that came to the program because they were training a new staff member or a staff member who was interested in gaining more business management skills, to folks that are just kind of in startup phase. So this program, the Spring 2022, really had a mix of film production companies, food businesses that had taken the program before, new food businesses, architectural design firms. There was even a restoration company that did all the restoration and installation of brownstone, or of doors for brownstone buildings in Brooklyn, and a lighting design firm. So it's a mix of direct to consumer. We are getting more and more folks that are like in services, that are consulting firms, and then we have a lot of manufacturers that are B2B. So we do cover those two differences in how businesses operate throughout all the classes. All the instructors know that they might get a room that is mixed, that some are D2C and some of them are B2B. So that's one very important consideration for us when we're designing the curriculum and and that's part of the questions that we ask in the application. We're trying to figure out how's your what's been like your recent profitability, what are the challenges that you're going through, what are your channels of distribution, trying to understand like how on top are you of like the different aspects of your operations. So let's get into the full curriculum. This semester we're condensing it to 8 classes. It begins with a class on Wednesday, September 20th, with UME Design, and I will get in a second to talk about the consultants, but essentially this class covers mission, vision, values. Whether you've been in business for a minute and you think that you have that pretty tight, or if you want to revisit why you do what you do, this is an excellent class, to understand the origins of your business. Sometimes folks come out of this class rewriting their about page on their website, realizing that maybe they don't have a vision for the business right now that's reflective of how the business has been operating. So it's kind of like an introductory class, and it goes over your foundations as a business. The second class, we get into customer profiles and journeys. So understanding who's your ideal customer, how has that customer changed, what are the channels of, marketing channels that you can reach them. So to understand how to better provide for these folks. The instructor here is Kim Robinson. We've been working with Kim since we relaunched the program. He's a marketing whiz, and so he's been helping us also now with the customer profile and journeys. So understanding who's the customer, but also what are all the different steps that a customer needs to take, from awareness of your brand or your product to actually engaging, loyalty. So yeah, that's class number 2. Class number 3 is marketing strategies and budgets. So this is where we get into how to attract the people that you want to attract, that's your ideal customer, right, to your business, by making informed marketing decisions that are aligned with your strategic intentions. So going back kind of to class number 1, so we get into what are the digital marketing channels that work for different industries here. We go over some case studies. Every class has a lot of hands-on activity. You will always get, before the classes, you will get a pre-class memo with exercises. We know you guys are very busy, so it's not overwhelming, but it's enough to give you a sense of what the class is going to be about and to ignite conversation and dialogue. So we get a lot into also like the differences between the digital platforms and channels, and a little bit I would say even in kind of like project management for marketing, and the approach to marketing is really not so much about promotion. It's about building a community, which we could say that even that approach is kind of overly used now, but I would say that it's pretty refreshing. And yeah, both of Kim's classes are super solid. Then we pivot to finances. So Ellie, who runs Skopos Collective, the consulting firm that helps us manage the program, Ellie teaches the next 2 classes. The first one is managing your money better. So, we get into the essentials of accounting. The ideas that you can analyze the story that your numbers tell, and thinking about whether your business wants to grow or what are like the inefficiencies in production that you need to be cutting. So yeah, how to make better decisions based on the numbers. So it's pretty workshop oriented. I would say that the best way to take advantage of that class is really to do the homework and start thinking through, getting your financials in front of you and start thinking about where are your pain points in some way, so that you can really take advantage of the fact that you're working with a consultant that's really an expert in her field, that's been, used to be an underwriter with the SBA, with NDC and with other, you know, community financial institutions, and that now works with a lot of different manufacturers, advising them, and also service businesses, but yeah, advising them on finance management. Class number 5, we get into, and again, please feel free to interrupt me at any point if you have any questions about the content, or to drop a question in the chat. Class number 5, so kind of halfway, the halfway point or a little bit after, we get into break-even analysis. So what should you be, how should you be doing and structuring your production and your financing so that you know, your business is able to break even. So that's on a day-to-day basis, but it can also be if you're thinking about going to a market, like taking part in a market that's going to take place. How do you need to budget for that? So that class is also very workshop oriented. In the first class, we get a little bit more into the concepts. The first financing class, we get a little bit more into the concepts of accounting, and you know, the chart of accounts, and all the different elements that come more as like conceptually into financing, and in this into finance. And in the second one, we get more into like, you know, again, how to make decisions informed by the numbers, but especially with the view of like breaking even, like at least, you know, staying afloat. On class 6, we pivot our attention to goal planning and project management. That is with consultant Elki Camacho. You know, she gets into you know, like thinking about your business and all the different parts that go into it, from a project management in terms of thinking about systems to you know, improve efficiency, and just think about the business in a more organized way, breaking down goals into all the different tasks that come into you know, conducting your business on a day-to-day. So that's a really great class, and I think a lot of the benefit of the program is that businesses are also asking questions about, you know, how about this software that can help me with a project management, or this other one. So there's a lot of like peer learning as well as we are going through the topics. In class 7, very connected to project management and goal planning, because you get kind of bombarded with all these topics and all the different aspects of operations and finance, that it's a little bit hard to come out of the program without specific goals that you want to achieve, say in the next year or two. So, you know, going a little bit further into, you know, how your process drives your efficiency, that's class number 7. Here, we're going to really hear everyone out in terms of what are all the different steps that go into their business. We're going to talk about different tech tools that can support with the process. This is the moment where some folks talk about whatever, like I use QuickBooks, I use this other thing, or I use Monday, I use Asana, I'm using Notion, or you know, it's breaking down all the different steps of how you're currently operating, finding where you could be operating better and what you need to support that. Sometimes we even get into conversations about HR. There's some businesses that realize that they want to grow, and they're like, well, I don't have really kind of like a company handbook. I don't, if whenever I hire a new person, like I don't have a system in place for making the onboarding, you know, sounder and quicker and more efficient. So that's the class in which we do a little bit more of like sharing of our experience in terms of process. And then in class 8, we have business presentations. So the whole program leads in some way to the presentation of each business has like 7-8 minutes to pitch you know, their business, who they are, kind of like their origin story, but like dive quickly into, what is your growth plan now? Now that you've learned all these tools, like where is it that you want to dig deeper? Is it, developing a marketing strategy? Is it that you realize that there's an aspect of your operations that you really need to cut back on? Or is there an opportunity that's coming up and that you really want to take advantage? So you want to break down, like, how are you going to manage that opportunity so it's beneficial to the business? So that's a great closing of the program and a way to hold each other accountable. Because folks generally say in class 8 that, like, oh, they just got to understand a little bit better all the other businesses that take part in the program, we're going to try to squeeze in during the week of the 20th, probably a happy hour with all the businesses that enroll, so that you guys can get to know each other in a more informal setting. That's probably, might be at Industry City. We're gonna think through that, but definitely we're gonna make that happen. So that's the curriculum. You can also find that on the application. I'm going to send everyone these slides, so you're going to have more information about the instructors. These are the 3 instructors that are going to kick off Plan for Growth. They are UME, which is a consulting firm, a strategy and consulting firm. So here are the consultants' credentials. They've been working, designing teams with a lot of different brands, Amazon, CNN, IBM, there's a Walmart here. So from like larger folks to like smaller businesses, and they taught last semester and it was very inspiring. And yeah, they just use like the right language, vocabulary, like the mindset. They really set up the class for an expansive mindset that's thinking about growth and like leaving kind of fear and restriction, hopefully out of the room. Then for these are the bio for Kim Robinson. Kim is the founder of 3 Points, which is his like marketing firm. He actually supported SBIDC with our latest rebranding in terms of like content, brand development. So yeah, he works with a lot of creative businesses mostly. And increasingly with manufacturers. He works very closely with the Pratt Center and their Made in New York initiative, teaching workshops. Also, he taught one with ITAC recently. Here's the bio for Ellie, founder and financial strategist with Skopos Collective. She worked with SBA Loan Underwriter Grow American Fund, and yeah, she's been working with us for a long time now. And then Elke Camacho's credentials, her class was really, really very helpful in like focusing in terms of like goals, and then the breakdown of all the different tasks and steps that go into thinking through a plan from conception of an idea to delivery at the end. So those are the instructors. Some more pictures from the last couple cohorts. So this was the first one after our break. So yeah, we have here La Neoyorquina, we have Early Bird, Workspace 11, Craft Spring, Studio Atomic, Matter Soap, folks that have taken the program before and came back again. Then some of the folks of the semester after that, we have a documentary production company here, cosmetic studio in Brooklyn, a couple ice cream shops, Dolce, Brooklyn, and Cream and Cocoa. We have Aria's Malaysian Kitchen, Little Boxes, Seedly, a lot of food manufacturers on this one. And then the last semester, we had here Katilla, who's an artist and consultant. We had an acupuncture firm, architectural firm, a ceramicist from Sunset Park, a lot of artists here. We had Meerkat, which is a documentary film production studio, and an experiential design firm that's based in Industry City. And for this last one, we did something different. There's more pictures, there's more folks in this picture because we had some judges in the last class. We did a pitch prize, pitch competition prize. So we awarded to the best presentation 1 year complimentary access to Camp David, which is Industry City's co-working space. So we still haven't defined any incentives for the best presentation for the last class for this new upcoming semester, but I think we might soon secure a potential pitch prize. So yeah, that's essentially it. That's my presentation for today. For you guys, the deadline to apply is September 13. We will probably be accepting applications after that, depending on the volume that we're getting. And yeah, just wanted to leave some time for questions. So I'm gonna stop sharing my screen and leave you guys a couple links in the chat. So yeah, any questions from folks? Whether I can already anticipate that from the applications that we've seen, there's a trend towards more manufacturers this semester. Cool. Thank you, Lauren, for the question. What does success look like for folks in the cohorts? For instance, like from the last couple cohorts, I would say that we had a business come to the program with a set of very specific desires they had of what they wanted to accomplish in the program. They knew that they wanted to be able to leave the business to like a newer generation. Like they wanted to grow the business to a point that they could sell it. So that's kind of like an ambitious desire, I would say, or an ambitious goal. So through the program, as they were understanding a little bit more of what it would take them to get to the point that they thought they needed so that they could, provide for themselves and to sell it. They just focused on that they needed capital at the moment to fund one specific expansion of their operations. So that same business that took the program 2 semesters ago now has moved to a new location, partly thank you to connections that SBIDC provided, and they decided that instead of getting a loan or getting in debt, they did a crowdfunding strategy, and they were able to raise, I think it's 170K if I'm not mistaken. I might have to revise that number, but they did a crowdfunding initiative, so they didn't go further into debt, and they just did that strategy for establishing the foundation they needed to take the next step to go into growth. So they had the idea that they needed growth so that they could sell, and then they came out of it with a financing strategy, and the connections to find a new space. So yeah, that's like one example. Then another business, came to the program like, look, I need to price my products differently because it's not working for us right now at the price point that we're selling our stuff. So thanks to this, like revising who were the customers and revising which were their channels of distribution, which were the distributors that they were working with. And thanks also to learning from the other businesses that were also working with a lot of different distributors, they were able to come out of the program with a new price point, with projections also for that new price point of how much profit they would make, and a new strategy for tackling new distributors. So yeah, those are some examples. Thank you for the question.
Well, sorry, it was loud here for a second. We're a factory and a cafe, so lots happening here. So I was quiet for a bit. But thank you
No
so much.
worries. Yeah, totally. Thank you for the questions. Yeah. So yeah, that's it. I think we're gonna, again, accepting applications until September 30th. Classes begin on the 20th. And I will keep you guys posted of, of that happy hour that we're gonna do with the businesses before the classes start. There's always snacks and coffee provided by Colson's every class. And yeah, Industry City is such a great campus for folks to just stay there after for lunch and whatever, go to Sunrise Mart. Yeah, and we're also going to be having a Plan for Growth alumni reunion in October. So inviting the over 130 businesses that we've graduated so far. And of course, all the participants of the new cohort are going to be invited and part of that. Yeah.
Awesome. So exciting.
Sweet.
Yay. This is really
Yes.
awesome. I'm glad you all are offering this. And thank you so much for taking the time to walk through the curriculum and all of that. So excited to apply. So really appreciate your time.
Totally. Thank you, guys. Good to see you, Hedvig. Talk soon.
I'm muting.
Thank you,
Bye.
guys.
See you
Bye-bye.
soon. Ciao.
Ciao. Bye.